Hey, and welcome back. And welcome back, Ross.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
And obviously, hopefully, you've all listened to our previous pod, where we went and delved into a little bit more detail with Ross's bodybuilding journey, and also how it all kind of started, even from your sporting background. And it was really interesting because I had so many comments, and likewise for you from your clients, just of like, it was so interesting. And I always find like people see these, like even athletes, I mean, the Olympics is on at the moment, so it's quite prominent anyway. You only really see that and the same as you on stage. So it's always nice when you actually get to hear from people, hang on a minute, let's wind it back and actually where this has come from.
Yeah, sometimes it's actually quite nice to even just remind myself, really. Because I sometimes forget. I think when you're so busy with life, work, and just general, you kind of forget, how did I actually get to this point? And you look back at it and you don't realize how far you've come. So that was actually quite nice for me to watch and actually to listen back, because I was like, actually, yeah, Jesus, what a change has happened in the last 10, 12 years.
And it makes you appreciate that success as well. And I think we're always hungry for more, which is a great thing. But actually, sometimes it's nice to be humbled by where you've come from too, like, and the beginning points and the tough times and where you are to be in the best position possible now.
Yeah.
But today is slightly different. Obviously, Ross and I both online coach, we both PT, and we're like just going into sort of, I guess, client journeys, our coaching journeys with our clients. You've had incredible client results this year. I've had loads of team shoots, singular shoots, and just everyone feeling amazing for summer more than anything else. So we're just going to kind of highlight all of that and why we kind of go into what we do to get people feeling their best.
Yeah, I guess in a way it's just what a job we have, really.
I know.
I always think that. I think, when someone, puts their trust into you because they're in a place where they really want to make a difference in their life, and they trust you to be that person to do that, and it is quite amazing. And then seeing someone transform in however long it may be, 10, 12, 16 weeks, and what they kind of, feedback back to you about how much you've changed their life, it's kind of like mad. It's like, wow, it's just your job, it's what you do, and then you are making such a big impact to people's lives, and in a weird way, it becomes a bit addictive. It becomes addictive.
Like, and you always forget, like, when you get those messages. I mean, we're obviously used to our job day in, day out. We speak to clients all the time. But when you get those messages where you're like, oh, actually, I'm making a real difference. And also they're making a real difference to their own lives and the long-term understanding of nutrition, of exercise, their relationship with nutrition and exercise as well. Because I think overall, most people demonize it. A lot of people come to me and probably come to you for exactly the same reason. And actually you have to pick apart the relationship of what they have with dieting. Because for most people, it's pretty bad.
A crash diet for a holiday. And I whenever someone joins me, I always say to them, look, I don't want to get you in shape in 6 to 8 weeks, you to drop off and lose it. I said, that's not how it works. I said, if you stay with me a long time, perfect. But if you do end up, let's say after 6 months, I want to carry on, I want you to know how to do it. I want you to know how to stick to it. Don't get me wrong, coaching, the big thing of coaching is accountability. That's my number one thing. Everyone's life gets hectic. Everyone's life gets stressful. Having someone to be accountable is the biggest thing that's going to keep you on track. But let's say things happen, finances, whatever it may be. I want to make sure you can still stay in shape for long term, And
it's sort of having that, like, whether you're still with us or even without us, being able to have the confidence to know the tools in the bank, like to be able to do that is way more of how, like, it's such a, when someone can do that, it's such a, like, I've done my job.
And show them the right way to do it.
100%.
The amount of people that clients say to me, oh, I saw this. I'm like, please don't listen to anything that you see on social media. There's so much wrong stuff out there. And that's why they come to you in a way, in a bad place, because they've probably done all these terrible things in the past. And now I can say to them, like, this is the right way to do it. This is how we're going to do it. And then they reap the rewards from it,
And I think as well on that, like even this morning, I briefly turned on the news and it had this massive article being like, oh, this 800 calorie diet. And I was like, why are things like this going on to the news?
The biggest thing I'm seeing, fat loss injections.
Yeah, absolutely everywhere.
Please don't do that.
But also, even from, there's a reason that there for people having them, 100% without a doubt. However, why are news places and these massive platforms that thousands and thousands, millions of people watch, to then just say that. I'm like, hang on a minute, that's not why it's there in any way, shape or form, which is why now you're seeing so much more things of like it being around, and it's just
one, does it even work? And two, it's just a short-term fix. You know, you want something that's going to be, can you sustain that long term? Because that's what matters. Are you going to do injections the rest of your life? Probably not. Are you going to do 800k the rest of your life? Probably not. Are you going to do a shake diet for the rest of your life? Probably not. So why don't you just, that's what
why don't you do something you can do every day, all day,
and enjoy it, get stronger. You know, it's not just about weight loss, it's about all aspects. I like something, how much mentally better they feel, how much stronger they feel, longevity, just releasing them endorphins every day, give them a good structure in their life as well,
and also the discipline with mindset. That's why, I mean, we thrive off that with what we do in terms of bodybuilding as well. And that is the more extreme side of it. But actually, I have so many clients that turn around and go, my mindset, I'm so much stronger in being determined to do something. And then when they apply for jobs, they're more confident. And even if they get bashed down a little bit, or, you know, they have a few sort of jobs in the pipeline, they're so much more confident with keeping on going because we don't stop.
Mindset is everything. Like, I can write the best plan for someone, but if they're not in a mindset where they can push through days where they're not feeling it or whatever it may be, they're never going to get anywhere. Consistency and mindset is everything when it comes to that. And that's what majority of my job is, actually doing that with people, is trying to get them into a mindset that they can, you know, days where they feel a bit tired. No, you still have to make sure you're hitting your food. You still need to be getting to the gym. Still need to be doing that. And then as soon as you do it a few times, it builds like your resilience, and it builds your mindset, and you create a stronger mindset, and then that's going to again give you long-term results.
And the thing is as well, even with like fluctuations and things, which are inevitable in no matter what part of your journey you're in, it also creates a bit of resilience and mindset with that, because we actually create a better relationship with knowing that we're ticking everything that we need to each day, and knowing that that's the right thing rather than just what some data sometimes can tell us.
And that's why it's so important to track more than just weight. You know, track your visuals, track your measurements, track your progress in the gym. You know, if your weight's gone up by half a pound, it doesn't matter. You know, you know, you don't look in the mirror and think, "Wow, I look great because I'm a certain weight." No, you don't. You look great because of how you look. You know, so like muscle mass and bits and bobs. You know, there's so much different things, and your weight can be thrown off by so many factors.
Oh my God, the list is endless, and it's really hard, like, especially when you've had people who have come from like crash diets, who have obviously, with doing that, only seen their weight go down.
All they care about.
So then that's the only association they have with it. And I always say, you know, like you say, visuals are a piece of data, scales are a piece of data, measurements are a piece of data, what you do in the gym is a piece of data, energy, stress levels, all of that. But not one singular one of those is useful on its own. Like why it's really good to track it, everything.
And like you said, weight can be different things. You know, did you get a bad night's sleep? You know, is it time of the month? Did you eat your last meal later? Did you drink more water? Have you know? There's so many.
Did you have slightly more salt? Like
so many factors. So you know that isn't the be all and end all. If you know you've done, I know your training, your steps, your food. Why does it matter? You know, just keep moving in the right, and it will move in the right direction. Like I have a client who's joined me recently, and her weight's only changed about 4 pounds, and she's like not happy about it. She looks like so different, and I put comparisons next to each other. She's like, "Oh my God, I couldn't believe that." I'm like, "Yeah, there you go. Then you lost 7 centimeters off your waist. You've done this, boom, boom, boom." I said it's a lot, because all you hear sometimes is people talk about the weight drop. That's I've lost 2 stone, or this and that, and there's so many more factors. And I said, look, what's the end goal for us? Because if we just keep losing weight forever, you won't be. You're going to
be non-existent.
Yeah. So that's not the goal.
And that's what I always say to people, even like, you know, who are really, really pushing towards and want it a little bit more. Like, not everyone wants the extreme side of things or wants the more sort of pushing like avenue, and it's like, well, that, like you say, you're not going to be doing this forever because we can't. And it's the same in a bodybuilding prep. Like, there is only so much that we can actually put our body through before we start losing muscle mass. Like that's not what we want. It's not a dieting competition. It's ultimately how the best you can possibly look and the fullest that you can look at the same time.
And that's the thing as well. It's like, well, a lot of people in the past might just restrict the calories so much they're actually losing muscle. So then they actually don't realize that that's a very negative way how to lose weight, because you're going to low metabolism. You're going to then, next thing you know, the most common thing people always do, they lose weight, they gain it all back and then some. And that's the main reason, is because they've lost loads of muscle mass in the process of that diet because they did it wrong. And then their metabolic rate is set lower. So then the next thing you know, they're back to the old habits of eating that same food they were doing, etc. They only put all the weight back on and then some. So the best way to do it, like I said, just weight training, high protein diet, do it the right way. If your weight doesn't budge that much, but visually you're looking so much better, it's not an issue.
Yeah, 100%. And it's then from, yes, we obviously as coaches, we kind of look week to week, we have check-ins with our clients, but actually it's like year to year progression that you can see in yourself as well. Like, you know, even I sometimes think like week to week in off season, I'm thinking, but then I go back a year on my time hop and it comes up and I'm actually like blown away and maybe, you know, even we have times like that where we're like, you know, you don't need to see everything every single week. And actually, if you know your training and food and absolutely everything is to a T, something has to happen either which way you're going.
Yeah, exactly that. And if you're not, like I said, if you're in the gym doing the same weights week in, week out, the same food, you probably are always going to maintain. You're not really going to change. But that's it. That's why it's so important to be in a surplus, is to focus on performance, focus on this instead. Because I got a lot of clients coming out of diet phase, they get scared to eat. Yeah. They get scared to that. I said, look, the main focus right now isn't your weight. You know, yes, we can control your weight, but we're going to focus on using the extra food for fuel. And also, who wants to be restricted diet all year round? No, you don't. You know? Let me add that new food into you. Let me add that cheese in the diet. Let me add a bit of that into
that. You know? Enjoy your off plan at the weekends. 100%.
So it's a time to enjoy it. And then it's like, okay, you know what? Now you flick the switch again because we've got that. So now we're going to look to kind of get you leaner. But you can't do it all year round. Because first off, your body will just get unresponsive. And then all of a sudden you try and diet and it doesn't work because I would be restricted all year, you know? Yeah,
and also and I think that's where people get in such a restrictive rut as well, of just constantly going, like, just feeling defeated. Yeah. Because you haven't got any energy as well. Like, you have to, like, people talk about energy. No, it's not normal to feel lethargic 24/7 a day. Like, you know, I think so many people accept, like, oh, I'm achy, or oh, I'm like not feeling great, I'm always ill, I've always got a headache. There's a reason for that. Yes, okay, sometimes we have those days, 100%, but if you're constantly feeling like that, let alarm bells ring, because there's, you know, and you can do so much more with that.
Yeah, definitely.
And obviously we speak a lot with clients about, whether it's diet phases or not, is controlling the controllable. Yeah. And there can be so much stuff thrown at us, and life and stress and work, and, you know, we can't help those things from happening. And I always sort of say to my clients, you know, and we can get super busy and that's okay, but it's understanding whether you're going to allow that to really tip you off with everything that you can do. Yeah. Even if, you know. Yeah.
I always say, you know, like, let's say funny enough, I had a client this morning, and she was saying to me something's happened in her family and she can't come to the gym this week. And I said, look, that's fine. I said, well, what can we control? We can control what we put in our mouth. So there's no need for us to throw the diet out the window, because that's normally the case. Oh, I can't do this week with training. You know what? I can't do any of it. No, you can do it. Yeah, and it's going to make you feel so much better. Eat good, feel good. You know?
100%.
And if you've got other stresses going on, the last thing you want to do is throw it all out the window. Your training, nutrition. All of a sudden, you feel even worse. You know,
and you feel even more stressed about trying to get back on track. Like, you know.
Yeah, exactly that. So I said, if you can control this now in a stressful period, it's just going to make it even better for the next, because life was always going to happen. You're always going to have stressful issues going on all the time. Yeah. But if you constantly keep throwing in a towel when something stressful comes, you're never going to get long-term results. So if you can control it as much as you can in something stressful and control it, it's just going to get you better the next time something happens, and the next time something happens. So then you're never going to fall off the wagon, because you're like, you know what? Well, I can't make it to the gym this week because I've got this commitments. I've got to see family. I've got to do this, but I can control what I eat. I control maybe going some extra walks or whatever it may be. Yeah. And you're still going to stay in your you're still going to stay kind of making progress, you know? Yeah. Just use it as a week where we kind of deload from the gym a little bit, rest your body up, but we're still eating good food. We're still doing all that.
And it's even recognizing the positives from that. Like, okay, if we do need to take like a random deload, or, you know, okay, actually this is going to give me some good rest, so next week I'm going to be even more energized for feeling good. And you've got to look for those little wins.
Yeah, those positives, 100%.
Yeah, and also being, like, in terms of busyness, like, all busy, like everyone is. And there's no level of, oh, I'm, more busy than that person and this person, and I can't fit this in because I've got this, and, that person can. We actually have to analyze if you can fit in the time slots and schedule in the time slots for your gym, for even your walks, like, for where you put your meals. I know we're a little bit more structured in that sense. Not everyone is, but if you can fit that in for you, it means that even if you're slightly less busy and got more gaps, you've got that extra cup of tea you can sit down and relax with, and it makes it easier.
Getting up an extra half an hour earlier to go for a 20-minute walk before you start work. Yeah. Something like that. It's so simple, but people just don't do it. And it's like, that could help you so much with your day, like getting results. Or, like I said, instead of just as soon as you get in, instead of sitting on the sofa, get straight in the kitchen, start prepping your food for the next day, or whatever it may be.
And the thing is, then when you sit down, it's like, like it feels amazing. Yeah. And I'm exactly the same. Like if I know I've still got a little bits to do, it really irritates me. So I'm like, if I just bash this out and I've got to get everything done. But I even find like, work is getting like a little bit crazier at the moment, which is epic. My team are amazing. I've obviously now got a mini cut. So I've got to fit in a lot more cardio than I had previously done. And I was like, time is not on my side, but that's it. I've got to do it. And I literally write in when I'm going to do my cardio into my diary. I have a paper diary. I'm really old school, but I love it. But put it into your phone. If after work, if before work, if at specific times, because you are more likely to hit it as well. If you actually like the satisfaction I have of ticking everything off. Not everyone's like that, but
it's true. It's true. And that way you're going to bed that day knowing you've taken a step forward to make progress, rather than thinking, I didn't do that, I didn't do this, didn't do that. And then again, it comes into that, you feel crap because you've missed those stuff. I can't be asked to do it anymore,
Yeah. And the thing is, then it must annoy you even more. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to get into bed thinking, actually, I could have done that. Yeah. Like, I think we all have those moments of, actually, I could have done this. It's just about balancing it. It takes some time to get into that, especially like for new clients, like explaining those things and working around it. I started with a client probably about 6 weeks ago, and he was only we did 3 sessions programmed a week. And he's actually now been like, I can do like, can you add in another one? Because actually I'm really consistently enjoying just a little extra something. Yeah. Because you will find that, because as your routine gets more set,
efficient,
and you just end up being like in and out, knowing how your time is, knowing like how long it takes to do things. I had the exact same thing with a client. Literally, she was like, I can only do maximum 3 times a week. And then the other week, she told me she went for a bonus set. This was like, I know, she's like 8 weeks in now. She was like, I went to the gym again on this day. I said, well, do you want to add a 4th day in? She goes, yeah, I do actually. I was like, there you go then. Yeah, and even that in itself is a huge progression. Yeah. Like people think, we need to have progressions from the visual side of it, or, actually like adding in this here and there, being able to do that a little bit more, that's huge.
I think as well, it's when they start seeing the progress and they start to enjoy it a lot more, and that's when it becomes addictive. So then they're actually making more time for it. Whereas before it was like, it's not a priority. I can do 3 days, that'll fit me in. But once they start enjoying it, seeing the progress and start seeing how beneficial it is, they then start trying to make a little bit more free time elsewhere. I think, I'm going to do another one actually.
100%. And it's then pushing that as a priority, like you say. And, I always think when we sort of look at priorities, everyone's priorities are all different. We all have work. So that is without a doubt what we need to fit into our days. But, actually, if the gym for you, like, it's a lot. Like, if I didn't fit in my gym in my weeks, it would stress me out, and I would not have the same energy or commitment or like being present with my clients, because I've not had my time of doing this and this. So it's actually identifying that. And I have a client who she's got 2 boys, and they're just old enough to sort of be at home. She lives just opposite the gym, and she's like, actually, when I like sort of not sneak out but get in, do my cardio, I'm a better mum for the school run. And I think we don't recognize those things enough either.
Like I said, when you're eating good, you're training, you're feeling good, it makes you just a much better person around, because you're gonna bring your best version. And one thing I was thinking of, Def, because I did a story on it the other day, I know we want to touch base on it, is about the comparison and comparing yourself to other people.
Yes.
I know what just popped in my head just then, and yeah, like we were speaking, I did a story the other day, and I literally, within posting it, about 3 people in 5 minutes going, oh my God, I really need to hear this today. And I was like, yeah, there you go, it's such a big subject.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, and it's such a big subject. And it's kind of like, there's so many, what I said in the story was kind of like, there's so many different factors with your progress and other people's progress. When people look at other people and think, oh, they can do this, or they eat this, they look like this, and it's something that's like, look, stop comparing yourself to anyone else.
Yeah. It's irrelevant. Yeah. Really.
And I post transformations, and yes, I might put, oh, my client's progress in 8 weeks, or my client's progress in 12 weeks. And I have had actually other clients tell me they feel demotivated seeing that. And I'm like, don't, that's straight away. I think that's a bad mindset to view something like that. Because, there's so many different factors. I have a client that said that to me, she has PCOS. Of course, you're going to be different to other people. Yeah. Your body doesn't respond the way other people's do. You've got hormone issues going on, and so many other factors. So I said, like, the best way to look at that is think, okay, all I care about is what I look like last month, what I look like the previous 6 months, the last year. Are you doing everything you need to do? If you are,
for you,
yeah. Perfect. So many people compare themselves to these kind of influencers or whoever it may be.
And even bodybuilders. Even, I think on the flip side of that as well, I think a little bit of being inspired and like that, I guess a level of comparison, but it's how you then take that in and use it. Because, we've spoken about it before that, we looked at other bodybuilders and we're like, wow. Like, and for us, that's irrelevant, because if we know we're doing everything that, like, to a T, we know that we're making the best progress for us. And that's ultimately all that matters. Yeah. However, it's incredible that you can view someone's journey and be inspired to do all the things that you need to do. Not what they need to do. It's different. It's irrelevant. And I say this with even weights in the gym. Like, my girls are like, oh, I can't lift that. And I'm like, but actually, like, what you're shoulder pressing to what matey on the 40s is pressing, you're doing exactly the same thing and activating your muscles in exactly the same way to respond in exactly the same way. So, but it's only relevant for that because when they started, the gym is completely different. What their strength is, what their job might be. It might be like...
And like I said, if that your client, whoever, in a year's time, she'll be then a much more progressed to that lift,
100%.
So there's literally, all I say is just keep thinking, okay, am I becoming a better version of me? That's all that matters, and exactly. And that's what we spoke about, I think, on the last podcast is, for example, my journey with bodybuilding. I didn't care where I placed, because all I cared about is I was better than last time. And that's exactly what everyone else should be. Is it the last summer I looked better when I'm at holiday? Am I moving in the right direction?
Yeah.
And like I said, any comparisons, it should just be, okay, let me look at this person. Are they doing all their cardio, their steps, or this and that? Are their food's on point? Are they going out on the weekends and having big binges at the weekend? No, they're not. That's probably why they're making great progress as well. Yeah. And then that's what the only comparison you should make is, okay, am I doing everything that I need to do like they're doing to make amazing progress? Okay, I'm possibly not. Okay, maybe I should then at the weekends make sure I'm still controlling.
And it's inspo. It's not necessarily even that. It's not a negative on what your journey is. You recognizing what you need to improve on is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, so many people are like, oh, but I'm not there. What is there? Because then when there is there, you're going to want more.
And you always want to be striving forward, because you get bored, Who wants to just kind of reach the goal and be like, what do I do now? If anything, that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
If everyone knows Tyson Fury, when he won the world heavyweight world championship, that was his biggest downfall, because he reached the pinnacle that he wanted to reach for so long. And then he was like, I've reached everything now. What do I do?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with progress. There is no point.
There's no finish line.
Yeah.
Again, athletes, Olympics, guarantee you they will all come away from that and trying to move the goalpost.
Yeah.
We had the discussion the other day, didn't we, about like world records. What the world records are now is not what they were God knows how long ago. And it's almost scary. And every athlete will come away, whether they achieved what they, there is only obviously 3 medals that, that they can go to, and they have all these heats and things. They will constantly know exactly what they want to do to push further, even though they've achieved what they've achieved. That Keely yesterday, I've got my gold medal. She's not going to be like, I've completed it.
Yeah.
Like, she'll come back in 4 years and probably want to continue
and I want
to
to beat my
do that.
time. I want
Yeah.
to do this, whatever it be. And the same thing with progress in gym. Just because you made amazing progress for a holiday doesn't mean it should just end and stop.
Yeah,
How about you
completed
go?
it.
How about I want to go? You know what? I want to look good. I want to look good, feel good year round. I want to then get stronger in the gym now. So this is my chance now. Food's going back up.
Yeah.
I want to then create more muscle. So then when I next diet down, I can look even leaner. I can have more shape. I can have this and that. Rather than looking at someone and thinking, oh, well, look, they've got it all now. I don't want, you could keep getting towards that.
100%.
And the main thing is, like, how cool is it to, like you said, to look back at photos from a year ago of yourself or 2 years of yourself and think, wow, how much I've changed because of the hard work I've put in
continuously.
And then if you're not making the progress if you're not making the progress you want, it's probably because you're not being consistent with it, because you're letting these things knock you off. And then you go, oh, I need to get back on it now, actually, because I used to feel really good, and that's what I always think is I don't want to be that person that goes, oh, I used to look like this, or I used to be able to press that weight. I want to be the best version of me always, I always want to be looking back thinking, oh, I used to press that, but look at me now.
And it doesn't necessarily mean to say that we need to always be going at the rate of 100 miles an hour, because that's not always possible. No. Like we said earlier, life does happen as well, and we don't. And sometimes the goal, if you do have a really stressful period or anything like that, just to be like, actually, I'm still chipping away. I'm still doing something. And at the moment, that's all I need to focus on. That is still progression. And that's still consistency.
You didn't fall off. You didn't quit.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing. People just want to throw the towel in and quit. It's like, no. Keep moving forward. Keep controlling what you control. Like we said about the food, nutrition. And then once life stresses, okay, I'm back in the gym now.
And the thing is, if we quit, nothing will change. Like, nothing's going to move forward. Backwards. And it's and that's all you want to do. And it's those little steps forward constantly, because your confidence over those periods of time as well is just going to elevate. And I think confidence is massive in this game, because it truly changes how you feel about every aspect of your life as well. And I always say this, and I've used this as such a prominent example of my own journey at the moment. I'm like nearly a year into off season, and I not convinced myself. At the end of prep, I said, oh, I'm going to feel rubbish next year. I'm going to feel like a potato. And actually, I've never felt like in this composition and this weight more insane than I ever thought I would. And that's not to say I felt insane on prep as well. Like, that's cool. It's got a different purpose. But actually, just because we're in a completely different part of our journey itself, it doesn't mean that, oh, that's negative. Like, you've just got to use it as a positive.
It's like you said, you might be a bit more shapely now because you've got the extra weight, or you might be a lot more stronger now. So gym feels amazing, because in the back end of a dieting phase, your strength does start to dip. You're not going to feel as good when you're going in there. So that's when you need to, like I said, we talk about moving the goalpost and have a different focus. It's not about stepping on the scales, seeing it drop now. It's now, and I have someone in a dieting phase who kept sending me weights. Oh, I'm this weight, I'm this weight, I'm this weight. I'm like, stop tracking your weight. I said, I don't want you doing that at all. Just leave your weight alone. Once a week, check in, do weigh yourself, and send it to me. That's all that matters. Right now, I wouldn't you messaging me telling me, I've got new PV, I've just done this, I've done that.
I felt good to get out today.
That's when I hear from you, because right now the goal is not to do with your weight. It's about getting stronger, building new muscle, creating new shape, building your metabolism up. So we next diet time, we don't have to go as low on food. We don't have to kind of push as hard, and we can get leaner quicker because we've got that more muscle there,
Hugely.
That's what, I want to hear,
And it's learning more and more, like, through that about yourself and through each and every point. Because I've had clients that actually have recognized through such a long period of time through their journey, they sit back and they're like, I had a really bad relationship. One, a little bit with myself, like I was constantly, it's that negative self-talk and things like that. Common. And actually now they realize through sort of ups and downs, because we all have them, nothing's ever plain sailing, actually how much more improved your mindset with like the scales is and yourself, and how you never we don't want to put that negative spin on it, because it's going to offset our days, our training sessions, and our food. Like, we want to enjoy our food as much as, actually for you, if it hits your goals to be plain, simple, easy, quick, actually I quite enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily need to be boring, but also you can make it exciting. We want to enjoy the things that we do each day.
I think one of the biggest things is about, like you said, what you talked about earlier, about trying to be positive about everything. And I think that's something that I noticed about yourself very good at, is keeping positive about everything. And many people can't do that. You know, the amount of times where I'll go to a client, oh, so how's your day been? Oh, it's been awful. It's been so busy at work. It's that. I'm like, why is that a bad thing? You know, I said, if it wasn't busy at work, you'd be worried you wouldn't have a job. So stop worrying about, you know, that. I said, that's a good thing. Oh, it's so busy at work. Yeah, it's really good. We're doing this, we're doing that. That's how it should be. But and they always joke around. And I remember one time it was my birthday, and one of my clients found a Mr. Positive book or something. It was like, and it was all just positive quotes. So she gave it to me. So this is for you.
That is amazing.
And I was like, because I'm always, as soon as she was like, no, I'm not negative talking here. I said, this is all positive now. And she would laugh every time. And then it became a bit of a joke. I would ask her how her day was, and she would be like, yeah, it's really good actually. There you go. Because it's so true that if you're constantly being negative about every situation, it kills your mood, it kills your motivation, and it doesn't make you want to do anything. You know, if you go, you know, I went to, I don't know, my food's been all on point today. Or, you know what, I had you know what, life's all stressful, but I still made sure my food's good today. Just be positive about everything.
100%.
That's the biggest thing, isn't it? You can be positive. It's going to keep you consistent. It's going to keep you in a good mindset. It's going to keep you moving forward. As soon as you start letting negative thoughts come in, it's going to be game over, you know?
Definitely. And, you know, I have exactly the same. I remember someone said to me in the gym, I walked in the other day. They were like, I was like, hi, how are we doing? Like, I walk in and sort of say hello to everyone. And they're like, oh, you're always so positive. And I was like, well, if I walked in here with a miserable face, you definitely know something was wrong. And I think, you know, and it's probably, that can build as well. Like, you know, we can change, like, you know, it's not like you're suddenly going to wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, I'm going to be the most positive person ever. It takes time to build that. But I also think, you know, if like someone said to me yesterday, oh, I'm really tired. And it was like 7:45 after they'd done a class, they'd been to work, they'd done gym in the morning. And I was like, that's good. That's good. We should normal. Get to the end of our days and feel tired. That's a good thing.
Not full of energy and can't sleep.
It's not a bad thing. You know, you're going to get into, you know, the day is done, you've worked hard, and that's a positive. Like, we're going to bed tired. Good, because you're going to sleep well. You know, and it's just those little twists, and it takes time to get into that mindset. I can appreciate that. And I suppose that's why we love our jobs so much.
And don't be wrong, there's going to be times where you're like, there's no positive in this is terrible. And that happens as well. That's part of life.
We're not always
the littler things which people can really kind of they're constantly thinking negative about the smaller things. That's when it becomes an issue. Like something massive happens, okay, we get it. That's fine.
And also we're human, like, and that's not to say that we don't have like negative days or whatever. Like, you know, we'd be weird if we didn't. But it's just always good to recognize that.
You can't appreciate the goods without the downs, right? But then it's, if you're down about every little thing, that's an issue, because that's going to transfer in every aspect, you know. And like I said, then you're going to want to comfort eat. You're going to want to go, I can't be asked for the gym, I can't be asked for that. Whereas if you're like, I get to go to the gym, I get to eat this good food, I get to feel energized because I'm doing this and that. It's constantly like I said, reinforcing and positives.
Rather than sort of, I guess, looking at a meal going, oh, I need to do this because I need to lose weight.
Oh, I wish it was pizza or something. No.
You know, actually, this is going to be good for me.
There you go then.
And it does change it. And I think that really nicely concludes sort of just delving into the coaching side of things, which has been wicked to talk about today. And I think we hit on some huge topics. And, you know, maybe out there listening, you've related to quite a lot of what we've spoken about. And, you know, we're always here for any questions. Obviously, Ross's Instagram is...
Ross McCarthy 96.
There you go. So you're always welcome to ask either of us any questions. Obviously, I'm Empower Fitness. And yeah, it's really exciting sort of just getting people buzzed for like summer and just generally life and all of those things as well.
And so many people, I think, now have had them fitness goals leading into summer. Now it's just winter. Don't lose your routine.
Like just carry on
that routine
and feel good for it.
Yes, carry on feeling good for it. Don't just constantly think the gym's only for when you want to lose weight. Start to then build your calories back up. Change your focus to performance in the gym. Keep a good structure and routine going. And then when it comes down to your next holiday, first off, it's going to be so much easier.
Yeah.
You're going to feel good, look good throughout the rest of the year and the start of next
and
year.
look even better.
And look even better than next year. Make add more progress to how you look. So then you can look back at your last summer to then the next summer and think, wow, look how much I've changed, you know.
And be like,
and be proud of yourself.
I did that.
You know? Yeah, proud of it because you didn't do what you've done every other year where you threw the towel in and then you're starting from scratch again. And then every year you're going to end up putting a bit more on, and then you're going to feel gutted, you know. Keep that routine and structure going. Look good, feel good year round. And yeah, just keep making phenomenal progress, you know.
Exciting. Well, thank you very, very much for coming on again. I'm sure it won't be the last and we'll have more topics further down the line to speak about. And incoming for the next episode will be my 30th episode, and there will be a little bit of a giveaway incoming. So stay tuned for that as well. And obviously we will be posting loads about this. And yeah, hopefully you like it, and as always, let us know the feedback too. But yeah, thank you again, and we shall see you on the next episode. A big thank you for joining me on my channel and tuning in. Find me on Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, Amazon and YouTube, A Diary to Empower. Follow me on Instagram, m_power.fitness, and TikTok, m.ibbert. See you on the next episode.